Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing your 2025 horoscope, so watch this first and foremost if you're Sagittarius rising, but also check it out if you're sun and moon as well. Of course, as always, if you know your rising sign, always start and check for your rising first. If you don't, sun and moon, figure out which one works more for you, but rising sign is the most important. This is when we do astrology, we absolutely have to look at it from that perspective first, because otherwise there is just way too many blind spots. Again, as for myself personally, I do see how certain things on a psychological level, on an emotional level, also manifest from sun and moon, some general life direction, but nothing, especially in your specific chart, nothing beats, so to say, your ascendant sign, because this is where specifically we see how things unfold when we do astrology professionally. This is how we do the charts. This is where we, calculate everything from. And of course, again, as much as I'm going to try to give you some general tendencies, in your personal chart, something could be very different happening, something similar, parts of it could resonate, all of it could resonate. So if you want your 2025 consultation, as of the moment, it's still available. Links are down below. Anyway, you guys, there is a very big focus for you in 2025 on relationships and also place of living, romance, creativity, children, things like this. A lot of different planets are activating those parts of your chart in different ways, but what I want to get kind of, out of the way first and foremost is, of course, the Mars retrograde, Mars in general transit through Cancer and Leo, which for you is your 8th and 9th house. 9th house is your Leo, Cancer is your 8th house, and I did a separate video for this. I did a special video for this, so check that out as well, where I go more in depth. But I guess in this particular video, I do want to mention that yes, Mars will be moving through that area of your sky for the first half of the year. It's where a lot of your energy is going to be focused on. So of course, for you, Mars retrograde in the 9th is about belief systems, about travel. Be careful now more than ever when traveling. And Mars retrograde in the 8th house is dealing with any kind of crisis, any kind of internal transformation. Sometimes there could be more, intimacy during this time as well. Actually, for a lot of you guys, if you want to conceive, if you want to have kids, there are quite a few activations in 2025, even including this Mars transit, that could indicate that if you want to conceive, if you want to have kids, this could happen now. So, congratulations if that's what you want, if that's what you are doing now. Let me know when this happens in the comments. It's sometimes it's interesting. I predict this in videos and then somebody comes and tells me in the comments. So probably this is going to be one of this. So yes, there is very big focus on that transformation, deep intimacy with a partner, resolving any issues with a partner, especially about shared resources, could be also part of the deal of this transit. And again, the whole shenanigans end sometime in June. After that, there is a very different focus, more career driven for you. But yes, there is definitely going to be some deep transformation of beliefs, of your deep intimacy during this time. And I think what's also very interesting is, of course, for you Sagittarius, Jupiter transits. The next transit I want to talk about is Jupiter. For you, Jupiter transits are not just about blessings or expansion, but this is literally your ruling planet. So the movement of Jupiter is that much more important for you than any other sign, because it's your ruler. So your ruler, Jupiter, is in Gemini still for the first 5 months. First half of the year, it's in Gemini. In your 7th house, house of partnerships. So the first half of the year, there are still so many opportunities for you to meet somebody if you're single, or to improve your relationship if you're partnered up. Again, use this time wisely, because definitely, I actually have a lot of Sagittarius rising clients who actually did end up meeting somebody already. So this trend has been there for since May 2024. Some people already met somebody, going well. So maybe again, if you met somebody, congratulations. If not, there are still a lot of opportunities for you in the first half of 2025. And then in the second half of 2025, Jupiter is gonna enter your 8th house again, where Mars has also been retrograde. Again, where Mars been shenanigans. So yeah, Jupiter will be entering your 8th house in the second half of 2025. Now the focus is going to be more on shared resources, intimacy, investment opportunities, learning maybe about investing your money. Again, this is not necessarily to invest or not to invest. Sometimes Jupiter transit in specific house shows you that you could be learning about it, learning from your mistakes. I felt like the first half of Jupiter in Gemini for me as a Scorpio rising manifested as learning from mistakes, but it's all good. Whenever Jupiter goes in the area, in certain area of your chart, there are blessings there. It's just sometimes we, unfortunately, as humans, don't recognize opportunities to learn or education opportunities as blessings. That's unfortunately like part of this day and age where we all, like, for us, blessings are like, oh, okay, give me money, right? And it's a blessing. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not. And yes, of course, money is a very big blessing, but what a lot of people unfortunately don't understand, and that's why maybe they don't actually unlock the blessing of money, in my opinion, is that Jupiter is first and foremost education and studying, learning something, having that, meeting either that guru or learning that, having that resource of wisdom and education. And so many people complain how, oh my god, I had this transit and I never received whatever they were hoping that they were going to receive. And then I'm asking them, okay, but was there an opportunity perhaps to study about this? Was there opportunity to learn about this? And so often, more often than not, there were actually so many opportunities to study about that, but they didn't even consider it like this was a blessing. And I think that's the problem, because what I learned for myself again is that, yes, of course, if it manifests right away, some kind of physical opportunity, great. But what I've seen in my own life is very often before you actually get to manifest that abundance, there will be opportunities to learn about it. And again, it could be literally, of course, school, but it doesn't have to be an actual formal schooling. It could be just meeting certain person, having like opportunities to learn and to study are all around us. But a lot of people don't see it. So for some of you, again, not to go on and on and on about this, but like I genuinely think some people don't tap in to all the blessings and all the wisdom of Jupiter is because they don't even see the value in wisdom. So like, how can Jupiter, the planet of guru and teacher, can bless somebody if they don't even value education or if they don't even value learning? I don't know why I'm so preachy about this, but like I genuinely wanted to share because I see all kind of stupid comments about Jupiter from how it's not always blessing you and how sometimes it brings you issues. I think what a lot of people fail to see about this is that, again, first of all, it could be sometimes about literally just learning and then using that opportunity, things you've learned, to actually materialize it. But that's what a lot of people miss. And then other times, when people go on and on about how Jupiter sometimes brings you bad situations, it could, but in hindsight, very often when you look back on that little issue which looked like came out maybe because of Jupiter transit, you will see how that little issue might have protected you from perhaps much bigger issue that could have been there. Maybe you caught some situation early on. There was some kind of issue in business, but it pushed you at the end of the day to transform everything about your business or to start a whole new business. Like, again, a lot of these things depend on your individual chart, where Jupiter is placed in your individual chart. In my life, for example, my Jupiter is in the 8th. Very often there is some kind of crisis at first, but then it all turns into a huge blessing. So in your own chart, depending how Jupiter is placed, where it's sitting, which aspect it's receiving, it all could manifest differently. So yeah, anyway, for the first half of 2025, essentially, it's still blessing you with relationships and partnership. For the second half, the focus is now on deep intimacy. Again, this is also great for conception. So if you guys want to conceive, this could be the year it happens. Intimacy, deep psychological transformation, investments, all things related to 8th house. There is an easing. There is a bit of it lightens things up. It brings you that understanding, that higher understanding in that area of your life. Of course, we will also have, what's interesting, we will have the last eclipse in Aries in your 5th house. So again, area of children, creativity, love and romance is highlighted for you. The last eclipse is going to be end of March. And interestingly enough, now also Saturn and Neptune that were in your 4th house for a long time. Neptune has been there since like 2012. Saturn has been there since 2023. Now both of them are going to be entering your 5th house, where eclipses were happening in the last year and a half. So the focus is now shifting into the area of your 5th house. And again, Neptune and Saturn couldn't be more different. Neptune dissolves borders, boundaries. Saturn creates borders, boundaries. So it's going to be very, very interesting, I think, energy. With Neptune in the 5th house, you could start, Scorpio's been through this transit since 2012. You could start longing for that soulmate, twin flame. Very romantic energy, very creative energy. Of course, Neptune and Pisces probably was, I don't want to say worse, but more romantically delulu, that rather than Neptune in Aries. That energy is going to be in my opinion, differently. And you guys, in a way, I said this just now in Libra horoscope, that they are kind of luckier than Virgos, I guess. You guys are kind of, in a way, luckier than Scorpios, I guess. I'll explain why. So Neptune dissolves borders, boundaries. It makes us romantically kind of delulu, especially if it's in the 5th or in the 7th house. And what happened, especially to Scorpios, is that they had the Neptune transit in Pisces in their 5th house, longing for that romantic love, creative love, dream love. And Saturn only entered the same sign in 2023. So since 2012, Scorpio has been longing for that soulmate, twin flame, illusion, delusion. And only in 2023, Saturn kicked in, and there was a very harsh awakening to understanding how many things they were chasing, looking for all their life are essentially not even real. And you got to figure out where you are, how to work now with what you have, because a lot of, especially for women, if you lost time, right, you have to have a family. If you want to have a family, there's all these things you have to now figure out very, very quickly, because essentially, like, again, not to be a doomer, but a lot of people woken up to either certain connection in their life was not real, or maybe what they were looking for is, I don't want to say it doesn't exist, but yeah, with Saturn, that was the vibe. You are kind of thinking that, like, well, none of this was real. Thanks for playing. Again, this is very, like, I'm a Scorpio rising, don't forget, so I'm going through it right now. But for you, why you are luckier than Scorpios is because first they were in the bubble of this dream, and then Saturn kicked in as like this, great stock market crash, the bubble burst. That's how Scorpios experience it. For you, it's going to be different because Neptune is entering for your 5th house. First of all, in Aries, it's going to be very different energy anyway. But Saturn is moving there also at the same time. So it's almost like you're going to know, okay, I'm in a bubble, and I know that I'm in a bubble. Like, when you're in stock market, for example, or even cryptos, right? When you know it's a bubble, when you have that awareness and you're like, okay, let me ride this bubble a little bit, but let me sell essentially, and not wait how everything is going to go up forever. That's the Saturn influence where Neptune is there. I'm aware there's this bubble happening, but you know what? Let me take action. Let me sell, let me be smart and not just believe how everything is going to be perfect forever. So for you, of course, in the area of romantic relationship, of course, 5th house, by the way, does also rule speculative activity too. But 5th house is also about creativity, romantic relationships. So even though, yes, you're going to be more prone to delulu in relationships, I think you're lucky because Saturn is entering there at the same time. It's going to show you, like, don't get carried away. Be realistic, so to say. Don't go chasing waterfalls. That's the theme song here. And this is going to be a very long influence because, again, Neptune is there for a good while, till the 30s, the other decade. Saturn is there next 2.5 years. Saturn and Neptune will both re-enter Pisces at the end of the year, but still, this is the beginning of this very big transit in your 5th, and everything related to creativity, children, romance is going to be a very big area of concentration for you for the years to come, starting this year, 2025. Now, what's also interesting, of course, is that right in the midpoint between this Neptune and Saturn ingress into Aries, there's also Venus retrograde in Aries and Pisces. For you, it's 5th and 4th house. Again, same areas are being activated. So yes, there is focus on home, love, romance, area of living, children. If you have any decisions about, do I want to have children? Am I ready? A lot of you will be deciding that. Eclipses also, again, because we did have the last eclipse in the 5th, eclipses are moving into 4th and 10th house, which for you is private life versus public life, domestic life versus career. So a lot of decisions and a lot of unexpected, perhaps even events when it comes to your family and home life and also career could come essentially in the next year and a half. So be ready, Sagittarius. There's a lot for you going on with children, with home, with romantic partners, with relationships, and therefore, with career as well, that somehow is also influenced by all of this. Yeah, career somehow is also all part of this. Decisions you need to make with your career, like big decisions, perhaps unexpected decisions, maybe because something happens within home and family. It could impact career or vice versa as well. And of course, Jupiter is in the 5th in your first 5 months of 2025 in the 7th house, giving you more opportunities for relationships. Then it's out of that area. But what's interesting? As Jupiter exits your 7th house of relationships, Uranus enters your 7th house of relationships. And again, Uranus hasn't been there since like 30s, 40s of the last, of the 1900s, essentially. Uranus is a much slower moving planet. So for you now, Uranus entering 7th house is going to bring you a lot of unpredictability, excitement at the same time when it comes to your partnerships, to marriage, to relationships. Scorpio risings just gone through this transit since 2017ish. In Taurus, they completed it. So ask a Scorpio rising, how did it go for them? Of course, Uranus once again in Gemini is going to be very different energy. Uranus in Gemini feels, in my view, more comfortable. Uranus in Taurus is literally, some people would say, it's debilitated. Uranus feels much more comfortable in planets like Scorpio. In signs like Scorpio. Uranus in Gemini should be more comfortable because Gemini is air energy and Uranus is that electricity. So gonna be very interesting. On top of that, it's also trine Pluto in Aquarius, so I'm more optimistic, I guess, about that particular ingress, because with Pluto in Aquarius trining this Uranus in Gemini, I am hopeful personally for the collective, for things like super intelligence perhaps to emerge, a lot of tech innovations, a lot of growth, in creative and tech innovation. And for you, it's of course also tech innovation in your partnerships. They chat GPT. I'm just kidding. But yeah, maybe, sometimes when Uranus is in your 7th house, you're attracted to people who are much more like different or interesting. I'm thinking about the way this transit manifested for me as a Scorpio rising. I was meeting a lot of people in either electronic music or creativity, people who work in like crypto industry, in tech industry. Actually, for me, I think I started attracting a lot of this kind of people when the transit started. So yeah, for you, of course, with Gemini, it's a little bit different, but yes, also people who may be somehow more tech savvy, technology oriented, more eccentric in some way could be. So let me know how this goes. Let me know in the comments, actually, what are you most excited for when it comes to year 2025? What are you most looking forward? Any questions you have, of course, please remember that this is general. In your individual chart, there could be something that's slightly or a lot different depending on individual placements. If you want to book your 25 consultation, links are going to be down below. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget, as always, to subscribe. We're almost at 100k. Hopefully we'll reaching this, if not by end of 2024, in the first days of 2025. Then thank you so much. I wish you amazing 2025. May all your dreams come true this year. May you find what you're looking for. I love you all. Thank you for being part of my channel. We'll talk soon. Happy New Year. Bye.